Lego man, you've already talked about Raty so many times. Time to go over a new New York Islanders prospect. I know, William Dufour is very, very good, but I wanted to focus a little bit on Aatu Raty first and foremost because this is a player that I am not going to lie about. I have had so much emotional attachment to the story of this guy that every time a big thing happens, every time we have ourselves a new stepping stone in the story of Aatu Raty, I want to go out there and make a video about it because, man, this guy is under-freaking-rated. Let's go over the profile, just in case anybody here is new and they don't know what Aatu Raty is about. Aatu Raty is a 19-year-old prospect in the New York Islanders system. Born November 14th, 2002, he's a 6'2", 185-pound left-handed center who was drafted in the second round of the 2021 NHL Entry Draft. Now, that's significant because he went 52nd overall. That's a pretty decent draft spot, I would say. But it's made all the more worse when you acknowledge that at the beginning of the 2020-2021 season, Aatu Raty was supposed to be first overall. He was touted by many people for years towards being the potential first overall pick in 2021. For years, people were saying, okay, it's going to go Dahlin, it's going to go Hughes, it's going to go Lafreniere, and then it's going to go Aatu Raty. And then in 2022, you're probably going to see Shane Wright, but nope, he dropped to 4th. But either way, first overall picks dropping aside, Aatu Raty fell much further than that Shane Wright did, because in Aatu Raty's draft season in 2020-2021, he really went out there and did not show off in the best ways that you probably could have wanted him to. He played in the Finnish Liga, he had 6 points in 35 games for Karpat, and he really just had a bad resume overall. He got cut from the World Junior team. He really didn't look all too comfortable out there. There were a lot of conversations going around in the draft world saying, hey, what the hell is going on with Aatu Raty this year? Like, this is a completely different player than the one that we saw grow and develop and dominate in the Finnish junior leagues all those years prior to. What happened to this dude? It's rare that you see somebody of the caliber of prospect that Raty was get cut from their World Junior team in the way that he did. He made the World Juniors the year beforehand, where he had 3 points in 7 games played, only to get removed from the team the next season. It was a disaster year at the worst possible time for Aatu Raty. And once the Islanders selected him in the second round, 52nd overall after being projected as the first overall pick in that year, a lot of people, myself included, were saying, hey, this could be pretty bad for every other team that passed up on this guy. Some teams passed up on him twice, because all it takes is for him to just get his head back on straight, and for him to just mold himself into that same prospect profile that we had seen for years heading into his draft season, for this to be considered an absolute steal. And guess what? It is an absolute steal right now. Let's go over onto the NHL.com website and take a look at their new 32 in 32 series. This is an article written by John Lane, published on August 25th. Here are your top prospects for the New York Islanders. Aatu Raty has taken a big step at the World Juniors, and Robin Salo is ready to help at defenseman. What the heck does that mean? John Lane, I don't want to tell you how to do your job, but buddy, please proofread your headlines. Either way, they're doing a 32 in 32 series about the prospects in the NHL teams, and the number one prospect for the Islanders is indeed Aatu Raty. Let's go over the profile and what they say about him here. How was he acquired? He was selected with the 52nd overall pick in the 2021 draft, and in his 2021-2022 season, he had himself 2 games played with the Bridgeport Islanders with 0 points. By the way, I want to correct that. He actually had 4 points in 6 games in the postseason with this team, so it's a lot better than 0 points in 2 games. Actually, screw that. Let's not read this because this is so difficult to comprehend. Let's go over to his regular profile of points, goals, assists, and everything in 21-22. Whereas in Karpat, he had 1 point in 6 games played, he got transferred over to Jukurit, where he was a point-per-game player in the Finnish Liga. That's a pro men's league. He's only 18 years old. He had 40 points in 41 games, 13 goals, 27 assists. And he had 2 points in 7 games in the playoffs, as well as 34 penalty minutes, so what the hell happened there? He had more penalty minutes in 7 games in the playoffs than he did in 41 games in the regular season. That's kind of funny when you take a look at it. but he also suited up for Team Finland at the World Juniors again. After getting cut from the team in 2021, he made the team full-time in 2022. Now, in the cancelled World Juniors earlier in January, he didn't play because he was injured. Sucks. But in August, this time around, he actually did suit up for the team, getting 10 points in 7 games in the process, 3 goals, 7 assists. He was going out there playing with Ronnie Hirvonen and Joakim Kamel, and they made for a super stacked line in this entire tournament. The 19-year-old is projected to start in the AHL. He had 10 points in 7 games for second-place Finland at the 2022 IAHF World Junior Championship. He opened the tournament with 4 points in a 6-1 win against Latvia, was the center on a top line with Kamel and Hirvonen, and he also played 17 minutes and 53 seconds. Damn it, he's so close to 17:38. The most among forwards in a 3-2 overtime loss to Canada in the championship game. Raty was cut from the World Junior team in December. That's not correct. He was cut from the World Junior team last year in 2021, not in the 2022 World Juniors, 1 year after making it at age 17. He flourished under Jukurit coach Olli Jokinen after an October trade from Kärpät and had 1 goal and 3 assists in 6 Calder Cup playoff games. Here's what Lou Lamoriello had to say about Raty. I'm from the school of I'd rather have them come up a little later than too soon. He'll be in the AHL unless he just jumps off the charts at training camp, which you never know. And so for Aatu Raty, if we go over to the under-20 players in the Finnish Liga from the year 2000 up until now, you'll see that the guys that are kind of surrounding him in this area are pretty good names. Aatu Raty's 19-year-old season, if you go by overall points per game, not isolating the Jukurit stint that he had, he's in the same territory as Teuvo Teravainen, who is a pretty good player for the Carolina Hurricanes right now. He beat out Alexander Texier, who is pretty good in the NHL as well. In fact, if you go over and just isolate the 1-ish 0.9 something points per game that Raty had as a member of Jukurit and only Jukurit, he's in the same conversation territory as guys like Anton Lundell. And you can see the names over here. It's not really the most decorated when it comes to just looking at points per game, etc., but like, at the end of the day, this is a player that was supposed to be good enough to be first overall. Before the Owen Power hype, before the Luke Hughes conversations and Matty Beniers and everybody came up here, Raty was supposed to be the guy. Because earlier on, he was such a good center, he was producing so many points, he was a great goal scorer, very good playmaker as well. And for some reason, all those qualities just went down the drain when he started playing for the Kärpät team in the Finnish Liga. Nowadays, he is there, he looks so good, and he was one of the better players in the entire World Junior Championship, even though he was cut from the team 1 year ago. And so, sure, while Aatu Raty may never become a first overall guy in the same way that Jack Hughes was the first overall guy, scoring at a 90-something point pace and doing all these crazy good things, while he might not be Connor McDavid or Austin Matthews, at the end of the day, you have yourselves a guy that is looking to be as legit as they come. He was phenomenal at the World Juniors. He was phenomenal at the Finnish Liga level, a pro men's league as an 18, 19-year-old player. Now he'll head over to Bridgeport. He'll play a little bit over there. He was really good for them in the postseason last playoffs, and we'll see if he's able to expand on that type of hype, production, and consistency heading into 2022-2023. In fact, this article on NHL.com lists their projected Aatu Raty NHL arrival as this upcoming season. So maybe there's an injury, who knows? There are already some pretty good centers on the New York Islanders, so there's no real need to rush this guy, I feel. That's kind of what had him done in the first place, when everybody was saying, hey, he needs to be going out there producing points. And when he wasn't producing points, it's why he slipped down draft boards, and he slipped so far with all that momentum dragging him down that he ended up going in the second round, 52nd overall. Like, that's 51 picks after people were saying you were supposed to go the prior year. Imagine hearing that as a 17, 18-year-old kid. Ever since you're 15, 16, you're hearing, yeah, he's going to be first overall. You're going to be first overall. You're going to be taken first in the NHL draft. And then the day actually comes after you're cut from the World Junior team, 1 year after making the team beforehand. Everybody says it's your mental. Everybody says it's your skills. Everybody says, oh, he's not that good anymore. It's whatever. He gets taken in the second round. And now, 1 year removed, he's a point-per-game Liga guy. And now he's here in New York. Or Bridgeport, I guess you should say. So, talk to the comments on your thoughts about Aatu Raty and the prospect profile he has. We'll talk about William Dufour soon. I want to go out there and make a video about this guy because he was an absolute game-changing goal scorer for the Islanders and their prospect system as well. But talk to the comments, let your thoughts about Raty. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.